Hey, what's up, guys? Houston here. Look, if you do not have any business credit history and you're trying to raise up to $200,000 with no interest, I'm going to show you the best strategy to do that. Now, one of the things I always tell you, the biggest kicker when trying to raise a lot of money is having the right NAICS code. So, not having a high risk NAICS code. So your high risk NAICS codes would be like real estate investing, restaurant, credit repair. Okay. Now I have a free video series that goes all into that, so I'm not going to explain it. You can click the link in the description for that. But what I wanted to explain to you where you want to start. All right. So the first one is with American Express. All right. You want to start with American Express. Now the reason that you want to start with American Express is because they're going to be on your top tier when it comes to funding. Okay. Now, here's what I would do with American Express. I would open up a business checking account. Now, usually with that business checking account, it's usually invitational only. All right. So, you as an individual, if you're brand new to American Express, and let's clear the air. All right. If you're trying to go after $200,000 in funding, all right, at 0% interest, this is the data points that I would look at. One is make sure that I have at least a 740 or higher credit score. Okay. Number two, I would make sure that my household income is at least over 100,000. All right. Those would be my two biggest criteria. Even if I don't have any business credit history, those would be my two biggest criterias. Okay. Let's look at these here cards. With the American Express, they're usually going to pull from Experian. Okay. Your Experian FICO 8. So just keep that in mind. Now, you see, they offer a business gold card. Now, let me explain this so that you understand. Most people, when they get this business gold card, they are not aware of this here 6 months of no interest on purchases, right? So they'll just start purchasing without setting this up. You actually have to set this up. Okay, it's the pay over time thing. And so let's say they give you start you out with 25,000, right? And let's just say you say, okay, I'll use 15,000 within that 3 months because you want to get your points as well. Well, here's the thing about it. Anything over that 15,000, you would have to pay off in full. Okay, only what's covered up to that 15,000 in that 6 months is what you actually are going to get the 0% interest on those purchases. All right, so you must keep that in mind. All right, now another thing with this gold card, this is not something else that's very important. If you start making large purchases on it without it being on that planet, and let's just say you spent $15,000 this month on inventory or on marketing, right? And keep that inventory and marketing in mind because that's going to lead me to tell you something else that's very important in order for you to get higher limits. All right. But here's the challenge, okay? If you spend that $15,000 a month on inventory, on marketing, and then you pay that $15,000 off the following month, if you do that consecutively for 2 to 3 months, what's going to end up happening? They may end up locking up your car, even though you pay the card off in full. And then they're going to ask for financial records, meaning they're going to ask for your tax records, they're going to ask for bank statements. Okay. Now, one of the ways that you can get around it is whoever your main bank is to make sure that your main bank is the one that's actually paying for your credit card statements, okay? And that will help you get around that, all right? Now, they also may ask for invoices. Now, if you're a new business, of course, you may not have invoices, right? But you need to be able to present them with something that shows that, hey, this is what I've actually did with the card because they're going to want an explanation. All right. So that's the reason I'm telling you that. Now, moving on, your other top two American Express cards. Like I said, we're going for 200,000 with no interest up to 18 months. The next two cards is your American Express Blue Business Cash as well as your American Express Blue Business Plus Credit. And again, because it's the 0% APR for 12 months. Okay? Now, the only thing about American Express that I don't like is that you will get approved for these cards and they may give you high limits, but you can't liquidate the card. And the only way for you to liquidate these cards, you actually have to sign up an account with like Melio or with Plastic, okay? And these are all the services on Plastic that you can actually use the American Express card for, all right? So even like with advertising, they won't accept that, like insurance, medical, franchise fees, and things of that nature. They will not accept that. These are the only things that they will accept when accepting American Express if you're trying to liquidate the card. So just keep that in mind when you get approved for American Express. The next credit cards you want to go for 0% for 12 months or more is with Chase. Okay, so you can see Chase Unlimited and they have the Chase Business Cash. These are the only two cards they actually offer 0% for 12 months. Now, here's something you have to understand with Chase. I would open up a personal checking account and I would open up the business account. Now, when they ask you um, what are your projected sales for the business? That's where you would tell them like how much projected sales or whatever. But they're still going to be looking at the personal credit as well as the personal income. And they may ask you, what are you going to do with it? Then again, like you going to tell them, like you trying to expand, you want money for advertising, right? Or you want money to buy more product, okay, or for inventory. That's the reason that you actually want these here cards. Now, if you go inside the bank and sit down with a bank branch manager and let them put the numbers in, and so they may come back with a low number. Usually, when you're a new customer with Chase, they usually start you with a low number under 10,000 because you're new. Even though you have a 740 or higher credit score and 100,000 plus income, they usually start you out with less than $10,000. However, if you go inside the bank and let them put in your information, and if they come back with a lower number, then because it's actually coming from their computer, you have a higher chance of a better, higher credit limit. Okay, so that's very important. So that's something that you need to think about. Now, if you're brand new to Chase, what ends up happening is that they're going to pull your Experian and your TransUnion FICO 8. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Now, the reason that I would have a business bank account with Chase is because Chase is going to report to Experian Business, Equifax Business is going to get picked up with Small Business Financial Exchange and Dun and Bradstreet. Remember, we're starting out with no business credit history, okay? We're just starting out as a new business. So this is why I'm telling you all these data points to help you. The next card you want to take a look at is the GM Business Credit Card by Goldman Sachs. All right. Now, the reason that you want this here card, again, zero interest for 9 months. Okay. It used to be 12 months. They done changed it to 9 months now. Now, here's the thing about it. They do a soft pull on your Equifax. Okay. Now, you have to have at least three accounts on your personal credit file. Okay. Then those accounts, you have to have a minimum of 2 years. All right. So, in order to do that, this is what I would do to help age the file. In order to help you age your file, I would sign up for like rent reporting. If you're paying rent, remember I showed you guys plastic? Okay. What you can do instead of paying people cash or a money order or you going to do Zelle and stuff like that, I would get a debit card or a Visa signature secured card. It can be a MasterCard too, but make sure it's a secured card. And I would put that money on that secured card. Now, you can use a regular credit card, but if you have bad credit, for most people here that I'm talking to in this audience, you more likely have a good credit card. All right. I would take that credit card. All right. I would put it on plastic. All right. And then I would let plastic send them over a check to their bank or whatever. But again, the reason you want that is so however long you've been paying rent and it hasn't been documented or whatever, this will start to make up for that. All right. So that's the reason why in doing it this way, signing up for by signing up for the rent reporter, now what ends up happening is that that amount of years you've been paying rent and stuff, then they will age the file from that time of the actual opening date. So say you've been paying rent for 5 years, then they will say, okay, this person's been paying rent for 5 years. Now they're going to report at least two years of reporting history, but the opening date is going to be 5 years. Now usually they only report to two credit bureaus, which is your Equifax and your Experian. So just keep that in mind when using Rent Reporter. All right. Another way for you to aid your credit file is also by adding an authorized user. All right. Now, let me tell you something when adding the authorized user to help aid your file. One, you don't want a brand new authorized user on it because it's not going to benefit. Number two, you don't want an authorized user that has a utilization over 10%. Okay. Number three, when adding an authorized user, when you're going after like FICO 8 type of institutions like American Express and Chase, they will not calculate that. However, like I was telling you about Goldman Sachs, Equifax FICO 9 for the business. And so by them doing that, if you have rental payments authorized users, this can help enhance your credit score. The next card that I would go after is the PNC Visa Business Credit Card. Now, they pull Experian FICO 9. Now, you remember I just told you that you can have authorized users rental payment history on your credit file with that FICO 9 scoring. This will help you boost your chances of to qualify for this here. All right. Now, again, you can see here they're charging 0% interest on purchases and balance transfers for 13 months. And yes, they do give you high limits on it. Plus, once you start utilizing this here card and paying it back, then I would tell you I would wait anywhere from 90 days to maybe 120 days and then apply for their line of credit. Okay. Now, the line of credit is definitely going to charge you interest on the amount you use or whatever. Use the credit card up to that 13 months, but I would also apply for that line of credit. So that way, if you need more capital along your credit building strategy. Now, I have a hidden gem for you guys, but this isn't it. This here is US Bank, right? And this is the one that I would tell anybody if you start join with US Bank. Now they pull TransUnion FICO 9 as well. Okay. And I got a hidden gem that correlates with what I'm saying. So with 18 months at 0%, one of the things I like about US Bank, all right, Once you start getting their business credit cards and you start utilizing their business credit cards, they do an automatic credit increase every 6 months. Plus, they also give you convenience checks to actually liquidate the card. So that means that if they give you $25,000 and you need to use that $25,000 cash, they will give you convenience checks. Now, per convenience checks is 15,000. So you'll have to use two of those convenience checks to take the full 25,000 off of it. Now, another great thing about US Bank that people don't know, once you start paying that money back, it automatic revolves and then they will send you another convenience check to liquidate what you already paid back. So you're always able to use that money. Now, I would use their 0% of business credit cards before I even go after the lines of credit because with these here, they go up to $50,000. Now, here's the thing you do not want to do with US Bank. When you join US Bank and they offer you their business credit card, if you're able to go inside the bank and apply, please do. Trust me, it helps you. And make sure that you open up the business checking account. You don't have to, but I would open up the business checking account and I would open up a personal checking account. All right. Again, you're trying to raise $200,000 and you want these banks to check you, this to work with you. This is the strategy you will continue to use. And like I said, I got a hidden gem that's really finna help you out to boost up to that 200,000. This is a hidden gem here. All right. Everybody that I've told about this here credit card, they have not gotten less than $15,000 and higher. Now, this is the Edward Jones Business Plus credit card. And all you have to do is open up an Edward Jones account, all right? And then you can apply for this business credit card. Why this is a hidden gem? Because it uses Elon Financial. Elon Financial is of the sister of US Bank, right? And so when you get the US Bank for 25, you can potentially go over here and get higher limits as well. And even though they are sister banks, they're not going to hold it against you, right? Because some people will get like two US bank cards or whatever, and then they won't give them any more cards. Well, what you do, you go over to the sister and get their card. And this is one of the best cards to get. Now, again, remember the data points I told you, at least a 740 credit score and making at least $100,000 annually. Okay? Now, they use TransUnion FICO 9. It's a Elon Financial. It's one of the easiest business credit cards. But like I said, you have to open up a Edward Jones account, which is very easy to do, takes about maybe 5 minutes and you apply for this here card, I'm telling you, this is a hidden gem a lot of people are not even aware of. Another credit card that will give you a high limit is Citizens. Okay. Now there's two different, and people get it confused. You want this here Citizens. Okay. There's two different types of Citizens Bank, but you want the one with the S on it and the one not with the S on it. You can get both of them, but this is the one that most people, when they say Citizens Bank, this is the one that they're mostly talking about to help some of you all to clear up the confusion. Now, here's the thing about it. They use Equifax FICO 8, right? But the reason that I would tell you to go after this credit card, again, is because now they're geo restricted. They do geo fence their cards or whatever. But as you can see here, it's 0% APR for 12 months. All right? For 12 months is there 0% APR. Now, you telling me with the data points that I'm showing you that you can't raise $200,000? All right, because I'm also, if you're paying attention up to this point, you also noticing I'm spreading out those inquiries. And here's another secret. Since all of these inquiries are business related and not personal related, then what I would do, I would challenge them with the credit bureaus. This is one of my other favorites. Oh my God. Wells Fargo. If you guys don't use Wells Fargo, you're sleeping. All right. Now the reason is that Wells Fargo has this card. All right. This is the Signify card. Now, as you can see here, 0% interest for 12 months. Right. But they also give you convenience checks to liquidate that card. All right. Now they use Experian FICO 9. All right. But here's something else that people are not aware of. Let's just say they give you only 15. All right. Now they go up to 50,000, but you need at least 25. You can call them over the phone and they will do a soft pull to see if they can get you up to that 25. They may come back with 20, but hey, you cool with that. At least they gave you another 5 Gs and it's 0% interest for 12 months. You see what I mean? And remember, all of these cards, if you liquidate these cards, they're not going to drop your personal credit score. Like I said, you're trying to raise $200,000 with no interest. This is the mind map that you need. Here's another card. If they have one in your area, it's the BMO Business Platinum card. And as you can see, it's 0% interest for 12 months. Now, here's the thing about this here. They use TransUnion Vantage 4 score. Okay, they don't use Experian a TransUnion FICO score. They use a Vantage 4 score. All right. So again, where you have the rental payments and authorized users to help increase their credit score, you can actually do it with this. And they actually give you convenience checks as well to liquidate that card into cash. All right. So, like I said, and another thing about it, they do offer high limits. Plus, they do offer lines of credit. So I would get this card, use this card after maybe 90 to 120 days. Then I would apply for a line of credit as well. Another business credit card that I would go after is this here Evergreen by First National Bank of Omaha. Okay. And the reason is, again, it's only 6 months. Granted that they may be geo restricted for some that may not be able to get access to this card. Think about it, they do give you high limits, but you have to be very careful with this card. Now, they're going to pull Experian FICO 9 as well. Okay, so that makes it an easy card to actually go after. All right, but all those cards that I've showed you, if they're offering you 10, 15, 25,000, you should not have a problem across the board being able to raise 200,000. Like I said, the top ones you want to start out with is Chase and American Express because they're the hardest ones that especially on inquiries, okay? But at the same time, you should be able to get at least 200,000. Now, something else that I want to add to this to help you, you need to also get this here card. This is the NAB Prime card, okay? The reason that you want to get this here card because they're going to give you two trade lines, okay? And so with those two trade lines, they're going to be reporting to Experian Business, Equifax Business. Now they started back reporting to Dun and Bradstreet, but that's two trade lines. One to monitor your business credit file, and the other one for the card. Now, this here is a charge card. So when you sign up for it, they're not going to do a hard pull on the credit. You don't have to put down a security deposit, okay? What they use like a decision logic, and what they do is see what type of activity is in the bank account. So here's the thing about it. Even if they offer you $500, right, on a charge card, use that charge card, max it out every month, all right, and pay it off before the statement date. The reason you want to do that, because they're taking that data and they're reporting it to the business credit file, all right, the business credit bureaus. So by them reporting this information to the business credit bureaus, what's going to happen, this is going to increase your chances to get higher limits with those existing banks you're already with. Okay? So that's the reason why I would actually get this here account. They'll give you two accounts, one to manage and look at your business credit file as well as your personal credit file. Now, they'll give you your personal credit score, which is a Vantage score. So just keep that in mind. And there's another account that I would get as well. And this is with Fair Figure. Now, they will give you two trade lines. One trade lines is to help you manage your business and personal credit. So I would take that one even if I'm signed up with NAB because they're going to give you a trade line as well. However, if you're making at least $2,500 in the business, they'll also give you a loan. All right. And they'll be reporting that loan to the business credit bureaus. And as you can see here, these are all the business credit bureaus that they're going to be reporting to. Now, see this here, Small Business Financial Exchange? Many people do not know how important this is. All right. Now, let me break this down. We just went over how to get $200,000 in interest free loans using business credit card through those financial institutes, right? Now, by some of those accounts reporting to Small Business Financial Exchange, this will make it easier for you to get an SBA Express loan up to $50,000 as well. Also, with the SBA, now they offer a line of credit also. Okay. So that's the reason why this small business financial exchange is so important. And this is where Dun and Bradstreet actually gets their data. Okay. So that's the reason, like, you don't need a paydex score. You don't need to buy any type of Dun and Bradstreet reporting file and things of that nature. All right, because this system, they'll get that information from this here system here. All right. Now, for those guys that need help structuring your business, because that's also another big play in this. Like most people, they would run it up with a LLC. However, if your credit tanks or whatever, and you have an LLC, even if you add somebody else onto that LLC with an 800 credit score, they're going to also pull your credit score as well. And that can give you higher chances of denial. So that's the reason you need to make sure that you're using the right business structure as well. So that way, even if your credit tanks, if you add somebody else onto the new company, they will only focus on their credit score and not your credit score. All right. So I hope this video helped you. If you have any questions, again, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.